Hey everyone, it's me, Kayla. Welcome back to class. So today we're just going to be doing a 25-minute-ish flow for hips. So we're going to be staying down on the ground. That's why you're so close to me. And if you have a strap or a tie or a belt or something, go ahead and grab it because we're going to use one of those. And we're just going to start seated, so find yourself in a nice comfortable position. Start by pulling in your core a little bit so you can lengthen up. If having your legs crossed like this doesn't feel good, then grab yourself a pillow, put it underneath your booty so you can be a little bit higher up, or maybe take your feet so they're further away from you. So just find where it feels good. And we're just going to take a long, deep inhale, reaching long through the spine. Exhale everything out through the mouth. One more time, in through the nose. And out through the mouth. And then just starting to lengthen the breath, breathing in and out through the nose if that's comfortable. As you exhale, start to pull in through the core. So as you're breathing here, just noticing what's going on in your face, your jaw, shoulders. Try to let everything just relax down. If your hips are pulling up really high with the knees, just see if you can allow them to relax a little bit. And as you do that, allow your jaw to relax again. Try to allow any thoughts you have coming into your mind about your day just to melt away. Taking these next few minutes just to focus completely in on your body and your practice, using that breath to keep yourself in the present moment. On your next inhale, reach the arms up over the head, keeping the eyes closed. Just lengthen really tall. Take the palms to touch, hands down to your heart. Repeating our mantra for these short classes, it's I am here, I am in the present moment. When you inhale again, we'll reach the arms up over the head, blinking the eyes open. As you exhale, just take the hands down in front of you, start to walk them out. So if you have your legs further out or if they're straight, just be cognizant of your spine. We want to keep it nice and long. If your legs are crossed, you can maybe come down onto your forearms, maybe let your chin drop down, and just take a moment to see what's happening in the hips, in the low back. So you might feel one side feels a little bit stronger than the other. When you're ready, walking your hands back, using them to support you, we'll reach the arms up over the head. Go ahead and cross the ankles the opposite way if you have your legs crossed, lengthening tall, and then see if you can come forward. And as you move into this, just noticing if this feels different than the other side felt. So when my left leg was forward, I felt it more on the left side, and now I feel it more on the right side. Maybe you let your chin drop down. Let your jaw relax. And then gently walking your hands back up. Reach the arms up above the head. Get as tall as you can as you exhale. Hands back behind you. We're just going to sit back enough to take the feet flat down onto the ground. Just move them side to side. Noticing how they feel. And we'll come back to this movement again in a little bit. So when you're ready, we'll come back to center with the legs, turn towards the right side of your mat, and we're just going to slowly start to bring ourselves down onto our backs, pressing into the heels, pulling in through the belly. Start to squeeze in your glutes, just lifting the tiniest bit. So try not to look over to the side like I just did, but just lifting the tiniest bit where you can put your hands under, but you're still having your back on the ground, and we'll just release down. So we're just going to do a couple like that. Pull your belly in, really squeeze in the glutes, And then lower. 1 or 2 more times here. And then we're going to bring that a little bit higher. So you can bring your biceps into the ground so you can press into them. We'll squeeze up a little bit more. And then we're going to move from here by just releasing the glutes, not bringing them down onto the floor, and squeeze them back up. So move with your breath, continue to flow with this. Pull your core in. Belly's trying to pull in towards your spine and up towards your ribs. Just starting to bring some heat into the booty. One more time here, holding up. And then slowly come back down. Take the soles of the feet together, let the knees drop out. So we're going to try the same sort of thing, but you're going to do it with the knees wide. If it feels better for you, you can put something underneath your feet to lift them a little bit higher. Otherwise, we're just going to start here so you have your knees out and you're just going to squeeze the booty. Starting to squeeze it up towards the ceiling, and you might notice that you don't move at all. That your knees sort of stay in the same place so you feel some tightness around the pelvis. If it feels okay, we're going to start to push into the feet and just lift the hips as high as you can. So it might not be very high, as you can tell I don't have mine very high. And we're just going to see if we can squeeze a little higher and then lower. Squeezing up and down. This should feel a little bit intense all around the hip area, in your pelvis, and in your booty. So you can come all the way down and release if you'd like, or you can pulse by just releasing the booty enough. You might notice your knees kind of come up and down as you're pulsing here. So just trying to get some warmth into those muscles. One more time, maybe holding, maybe you can squeeze a little bit higher, pull your belly in. Get the whole of your glutes engaged, and then slowly lower back down. Soles of the feet down onto the ground. We'll just windscreen wiper the knees side to side once or twice. And then go ahead and grab your strap. We're going to take it around the left knee. So I'm starting on the left side so that you can see, because I'm going to stay facing this way. But we're going to take the right leg. You can lengthen it all the way out long if it feels better, or just have it in a little. And we're just going to make some circles. So go away from you first at the center and out to the side, and use that strap to do it so that your arms can be relaxed, your shoulders are down on the ground. So you're just making some big circles here. Noticing anything you're feeling in your hip. If bringing it close to your chest feels uncomfortable, just keep it out a little bit further. And then we'll take it in the opposite direction. So out to the side and then up through the middle. Noticing how that changes the way this feels in your hip. And then the next time that you have it coming up, we're going to take the strap into the left hand, let that knee drop out. If it feels good, your right leg can straighten out. Take your right hand onto your hip so that you're not rolling over. And then just see how it feels to point and flex your toe here. Maybe bring the heel up towards the ceiling. That might not feel great on your hip joint, so be very careful with the movement in that direction. Maybe you want to lengthen that leg out. Just take some movements here with that leg out to the side. And then we're going to use the hand, bring that knee back to center across the body, holding here. And then just open that leg out and bring it back down. So really press into the right leg here, keeping yourself over. Just taking a couple movements, keeping the belly pulled in because this is using a little bit of the core. And then the next time that you're over here, just let that knee drop down. Maybe you like looking over that left shoulder. Pull in through your belly. And then we'll shift back to center. Just give that knee a hug. As you're giving it a hug, pull your belly in and see if you can lengthen out through the right leg a little bit longer. And then we'll drop that leg down and switch to the other side. So same thing as before, start on the knee or on the back of the thigh with the strap. This leg can stay nice and bent, or you can straighten it out already, but we're gonna just take the leg down away from the face in the center and out to the side. So just noticing any differences you're feeling here. Keep pulling in through your belly so your low back isn't reaching off the floor. Just trying to bring some fluid into those joints. And we'll try in the opposite direction. So bringing it out to the side and then up in the middle. Letting your shoulders stay on the ground. And then the next time you're coming up through center, we'll just let that knee drop out to the side. You can extend the left leg long if it feels good, but keep your hand on it. And then just like on the other side, you can kick the leg out. You can point and flex the toe, maybe try tilting the heel, but be very, very careful of that hip joint if you're doing that. If you have any sort of impingement, that probably won't feel good. So you could stick with just straightening the leg and bending. Just finding what kind of range of motion you have through the whole leg with it out to the side here. I have a wall, so I can't straighten my leg out all the way. And then when you're ready for it, we'll just take the strap into the other hand. We're gonna roll onto the left side, reach your right arm back, and then you're gonna open that knee out and bring it back down. So to keep yourself balanced, really press into the left leg. You'll feel it in the side of your glute. I'll just do a couple more here. And then when you're ready for it, we'll just bring the knee all the way down, finding that twist. See if you can maybe look over that right shoulder, pull in through the belly. You can move your strap away from you. And we'll gently bring back to center, knee into the chest, and then pull that belly in and back as you try to reach your left leg away from you. Maybe you can bring your right knee closer to you. When you're ready, release that foot. We're just gonna roll over onto our bellies and press to all fours. So you're still facing the left side. Well, I guess now you're facing the left side. But just start to move through cat and cow a few times, noticing how it feels, especially around your hips. Try to make it as fluid or ridiculous as you can. So rolling your shoulders and really tilting your hips, pulling in through the core. When you're ready for it, slowly bring yourself back to center, pulling your belly in. You're gonna bring your knees together. So I'm gonna turn just a little. Your knees are together. Tuck your toes under, pull your belly in, and you're just gonna bring the knees out to tap and then back in. So internally rotating through that hip joint, maybe bringing your hips a little bit, or not your hips, but I guess it's your hips. Just bringing your body a little bit further forward if it's too intense to have the knees stacked, or maybe you can bring it back a little because you have a lot of space there. Just moving them, tapping them out, see how it feels. And then the next time you have them out, hold there. We'll just bring the hands back a little bit and just see if you can gently move through a cat and cow with those toes out and knees in. So it's this cow sort of pose that should be a little bit more difficult with that internal rotation. Again, if you have an impingement and this feels bad, don't do it. Just hold wherever you feels good. And then go ahead and find your way back to neutral spine. Bring your knees or your toes back together, take your knees a little bit wider. We're gonna send the hips all the way up, find a downward facing dog. Just take a moment here, widen through your shoulder blades, sink your heels down, maybe pedal out through those hamstrings, through the calves. And then we're just gonna sink really deep down into this, sending your heels back and then lift back up. So a couple times here, bringing the knees into the chest. If you pull your belly in, you'll be able to get the knees closer in. One more here. And then we're gonna take the toes wide and do the same thing, sinking the hips down. So walk your hands back a little and you'll sink down and lift back up. So just bringing yourself into the movement dynamically to warm up through those muscles. And then when it feels good, we'll start to walk the hands back and you can sink in. Just adjust my leggings. All right, so maybe you can come all the way down. Maybe you're up on your heels and you're leaning forward. Maybe you need to sit on a block. That's okay. Just seeing what feels good. Maybe moving around a little bit here. Keep pulling up through that pelvic floor. Maybe you want to lift the hips a little and lower back down. Noticing any sensations that brings into your body. And then when you're ready for it, we're just going to walk ourselves back out. Come to all fours, feet together, knees together, sit onto your hips, or sit onto your heels with your hips. Hands down onto the ground. See if you can tuck that tailbone under, just stretch out through those hamstrings. When you're ready for it, that's not a hamstring, that's a quadricep. Clearly my words aren't coming through great, but we're going to step forward with our left leg, keep your hands on the ground, pull that right hip forward and squeeze the glute. See if you can kind of bring that left hip back a little bit, lengthening here. If it feels good, you can tuck the toes and lengthen that leg up towards the ceiling, getting a little deeper, but keep squeezing the glute, and then you can lower back down. So maybe just trying this a few times to see if you can get your spine longer. Keep squeezing your glute. Last time like this. Coming down, shift your weight back a little bit. We're going to heel toe this foot over. Bring the shin down. Come onto the outside of the hip. Opposite leg's going to come out. So we have these weird legs. Finding deer pose. We'll start just by reaching over that front leg. So it's almost like a modified pigeon. You should feel it outside of the hip into the glute. When you're ready for it, coming up, we're going to turn all the way over to the other side and do the opposite that we just did. So we'll start with that deer pose. Keep both feet flexed. Lengthen over that front leg. And when you're ready for it, you're going to use your hands and use your back leg. Slowly shift yourself up. Heel toe that foot over. Keep your hands on the ground. Just like before, we're going to sink down into this kneeling lunge. Try to pull this left hip forward. Trying to lengthen through the spine, squeezing the glute the whole time. And just like on the other side, if it feels better, tuck your toes under and you can lengthen up and back down. Keep squeezing that glute, lengthening through your spine. And then when you're ready for it, We're just gonna shift out, bring that leg back down, find your way to seated. Soles of the feet together, let your knees drop out, we'll lengthen really tall. See if you can lean forward a little bit. So you want your spine to stay really long. Sometimes I like to take my hands back behind me and lengthen my spine with the arms, like I'm trying to lift myself up, and then just tilt forward, keeping that length. Maybe you can turn the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling. Just noticing if one feels a little bit different than the other. When you're ready, coming back up, bring the knees in, give yourself a hug. We're going to go ahead and turn ourselves so we're facing the right side of the mat again. Roll yourself down, hands onto the thighs, press away, creating some length in that low back. Pull in through the core. And then go ahead and release. We're going to just bring the right knee in and press away with that foot, lifting the right hip off the ground. We'll come through center to the other side. So squeeze and press. So just kind of like what we were doing seated at the beginning, but now we're laying down. Really press into the heel. Really squeeze that glute hard. You might find that you need to bring the legs a little further apart, or your heel back a little bit further to really get in there as you're moving. You can use your hands to sort of adjust through the hips. One more time, over towards the left, and then coming back to center. Walk your feet in, just so that they're inside the edge of your mat. Let your knees drop in towards each other, arms up above the head. We'll take our Shavasana here. So start with one really long, deep breath in. As you exhale, release everything out. And then just slow the breath back down. I am here, repeating that intention and mantra in your mind. When you're ready, you can start to bring some movement back into your body. Maybe slowly bringing the feet in towards each other and then lengthening them out long, taking a full deep breath through your whole body, reaching your arms up over your head. As you exhale, bending one knee at a time, gently roll off onto one side. Take a moment here, blink your eyes open. And gently press yourself back up to seated. Maybe coming to cross-legged, just seeing if you maybe feel a little bit more open through the hips. We'll reach the arms above the head, lengthen really tall. As you exhale, hands together, down to your heart center. Take a moment to give gratitude to your body. To repeat that intention in your mind, I am here. And I challenge you to take it off of your mat and into your day, just taking a few moments to find yourself in the present. May the light within me reach out and touch the light within all of you. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like, share, and let me know what you want to see in some of the other videos. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and you can send me messages there. Thank you again. Goodbye.